All right. It's been a minute since I've done a video. I'm doing my testing for PeakMonsters. In the meantime, you guys get to see a little sneak peek. I've got a little button here on my profile picture that's new. That means the premium package for PKM. It's a PKM related set of features. We've been working on a new set of features with a bunch of other ones that we'll add to it, and we'll just keep adding to it to make it a better and better and better product. And it'll be available if you've got some PKM. Obviously, you can buy some from the market. All right, so what am I testing out today? There's a little arrow next to compare your rentals. It just got a lot more exciting. I think in previous videos I've shown renting out your cards based on percentiles. So that looks like something like this. We go to rentable cards, and I've got a lot of the new reward cards in there. Let's just look at some of the perhaps highest level ones that are just regular cards. All right, so we grab a bunch of these. I hit Control R to get there fast, and we are going to be doing some changes here to make this page really quite amazing for PKM holders, and everyone essentially is going to be benefited from these changes, but especially those with PKM. As you can see, some these would be called premium features here. I tend to go with the 80th percentile. It seems to be quite nice. So if I click here, it's just going to load all those cards based on the 80th percentile, with one card that does not have no one has rented it in the last 24 hours. So it's the 80th percentiles in the last 24 hours. I'm assuming someone has rented one of these, but not in the last 24 hours. So as we click on that, I can kind of price it against the lowest market price, which is still available to anyone and everyone. And maybe what I do is just beat that one. I don't know if it's an amazing price. We are changing price discovery to have way more information, but that's another step. So I've got all these, and you can see what it would kind of end up being: 142, 23 cards. So you can do all sorts of things. 142 a day compared to at 66 percentile, 65 a day, 50th percentile, 42 a day. So 80th percentile certainly goes up quite a bit more. As I've changed this, I need to kind of go back. I tend to hit this +1 next to it, and 142. Just, you can see there a quite a decent change in price. Now, most of them are level 6 Venari Heatsmiths, and it's loading some market information. So 80th percentile is putting it at 3.7 a day, which you wouldn't even see in this list at 80th percentile here. I don't know if this is going to get rented super fast. Obviously, out of what a percentile means, out of 100 cards that are being rented, 20 of them are more expensive than what I am trying to price it at. And um, 80 of them are less expensive. So it is more aggressive. That's why the word aggressive there. But we're going to list these. Let me just finish up. All right, they're getting listed now. Come on. Let's get them listed. There we go, processing. Now, what I'm testing right now is perhaps even more exciting. We're going to look at those cards that are for rent and are presently delegated. Now, the simple fact that I've clicked that and the rental's there, so nothing's going to show up because rentable was clicked and now unclicked. Okay, so here are all my rental prices. And, let's make sure these are the owned cards, not the ones that I am renting. So here are all of my prices. I can sort and see the most expensive. Well, if I click again, the most expensive cards is Yoden Zaku being rented 1,000, and a couple other summoners being rented for quite a bit. In the past, compare your rentals was one single option, comparing them against the lowest listed card that is not being rented out right now. And those moved up and down so fast it was troublesome. Now you have lots of things: the minimum price, maximum price, average, a bunch of percentiles, and the lowest market price. So if we want to compare it against the max price, this is going to be amazing. The max price. Look at that. I have the max price Yoden Zaku. So that's pretty incredible. And now the max price for the Byzantine, the max price of a car that is presently being rented, successfully being rented. Now, that's pretty close. You could also click this right here and click it again and see that, someone rented out this Weirding Warrior for 19 DEC a day, which is insane. 144x of what I'm trying to rent it out. But the max price is just a curiosity half the time. Like that's just interesting stuff, I suppose. How the max price may just have been a mistake, and the possibility that it may have been a mistake. Look, I have an Obsidian rented for 0.1. That is a mistake on my part for sure. So, I want to change what I'm going to look for it against. So we're going to look at it against the, well, average is different than 50th percentile. Let's go to 50th percentile. That would put it smack dab in the middle of listings. All right, so now what do we got? We are doing it versus price. And so look, 50th percentile, these tower griffins would be 0.1, and I'm getting them for 1.5. So I've got some wins in here. And a lot of cards that would be way too conservatively priced. Very much so. In fact, I can't remember which one's which here. If I use this section down here, I am in the wrong one. So let's look. Actually, let's just kind of look here. How many cards? 732. That I'm doing better than twice as good as the 50th percentile would indicate. If I put 1.2 or just 1.1, in fact, then I've got 2,047. 2,047 of my 5,900 rented out cards. So that is, about a third of my cards are better than the 50th percentile. And I guess a lot of them are not even as good as the 50th percentile. Even though, so now I'd come in here maybe and figure out which those are. Maybe just the ones that are really bad. So there's 738 of those that are off by a decent amount, based on the 50th percentile. But So they're not even meeting that kind of easy rate. What if we instead went to the 80th percentile? There's 700 that aren't meeting that. There's 3,000 that aren't meeting the 80th percentile. So I think one thing I'll just do is maybe split the difference and go to 66 percentile. There's 1,300, so about twice as much as the 50th, or twice as much as the 50th, and half as much as the 80th. And I could take all of these cards and cancel them, I suppose, and reprice them. But I mean, that may take some work, but it looks like there are definitely a benefit, especially these 9x sort of things. They're just way off pricing. Now, I am wondering, what about averages? What about minimum? We got to get rid of the 2 here. I want to see if any of my cards are at the minimum. That would probably be all right. So way higher than the minimum, right? The minimum being 0.1, and I'm renting for 40. So someone's got a level 8 being rented for 0.1, which is a total mistake. Craziness. We're going to click on this again and see that all these ones at 1x means that we have rented them out at the minimum, which I suppose makes sense considering there's a bunch of 0.1 cards. But this Goblin Chef, for example, I have the cheapest card on the market. All right. So what do we do with all this new, really interesting information? Well, I think what I want to do is maybe take this 66 percentile. All right. And I want to sort them in that proper direction. And maybe just look at the ones that are 5 times off. 155 cards. They're just way, way off. Let's do, I could feel like I want to do more than 155 cards, more than 314 cards. Let's find those cards that I'm going to increase things by a decent amount. And I don't want to deal with all these. Maybe I do. There's a lot in there, I suppose. So we're going to select all 666 of these cards and say to ourselves, this doesn't seem good. Like, these prices are a little off. I maybe create a set for these and then double check on them with some other stuff. But I'm I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I would create a set, but do I have? I can't create more sets as of yet, though that is coming. Way more sets is coming. A lot more sets for those that do the PKM premium sort of thing. A lot more sets will be available. You know what I also want to do here is check out what's going on with the most expensive of these cards. I'm listed for 50. The 66 percentiles 171, let alone higher percentiles. The 80th percentile is probably much higher than 171. A lot of alpha and beta cards. Even some reward legendaries. I'm doing 10. 38 seems to be a little bit more on the nose. These ones are also a little off as well. Similar cards. Wavesmith. Um, yeah. I could also take all these and compare them to the lowest listed card as well. But I think I'm just going to go with unlisting these and come back in like 2 days and work on them. So in this case, I think the ability to change the price while they're rented out has got to be maybe something a little more like a bigger focus coming up. If possible, that would be great. And a lot of things we are creating that may end up being a PKM premium package thing as well. All right, we're hitting stop renting on all of these. And it is processing. All right, we'll come back and be able to list them all at the 80th percentile pretty quickly. So we found not all the ones that were underpriced. We found all those that were kind of drastically underpriced by perhaps up to 3x. Now we did do if you look here, I'm pretty sure these are all 24-hour based. We could probably put a number there if people decide that they're not quite certain what it means. But I'm sure they're the 24-hour base. It seems to be what has been the most helpful of the time frames. When you list cards for rent, you can we can look back at the cards that are being rented out and look at all the cards that have been rented out or all the cards in the last 24 hours. So, this is the latter of the two. All right, so very nice way to check pricing. There will be a few different changes. In this one, combining these sections, so that's a +1 or -1. Um, I'm not sure what else changes in this page. There's certainly a lot more that happens in the pricing page, in the rental page, in the profile, where you're going to be able to get the PKM related features. Or, I mean, they're not just PKM related, they're PKM accessible. If you have PKM, the token, they become accessible. And a lot of new features that we will do or have been doing, the ones we're showing, are available to those people. Not expensive product, but it's just meant to help that token. And yeah, it's not even for PeakMonsters necessarily itself to profit from. In most cases, yeah, mostly. I mean, people are just burning PKM. Essentially, is what is going to happen. So, a little bit of insight here, maybe that gets you excited. I'm not really here to sell you PKM because it's not like you're going to pay me or my company at PKM. You're going to kind of burn it. And we are distributing it to you. We're giving you guys all free PKM, and you're deciding to use that, maybe even buy more, to be able to have cool features that will make you a lot of money or insights or organization or save you a lot of time. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to upload it now. It's pretty late. I'm getting tired. But if you have any questions, let me know.